The Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, the Association of Construction Project Managers with the Nelson Mandela University and the Progressive Socio-Economic Investment Institute is hosting a webinar around the discussion of the rise of construction mafias in the country. The country has experienced a number of construction delays due to the attempt by certain groups extorting a percentage of the construction project fees. For more on this growing trend, we are now joined by the president of the Association of Construction Managers, Anthony Afordofe, who is now joining us via Zoom. Anthony, good morning, and thank you so much for making time for us. Speak to us first of all around how bad the situation is.
Thank you very much for having us. I'd just like to acknowledge the Association of Construction Project Managers. We are a group of corporate companies that form under the umbrella of the association. So we do offer public sector and private sector clients the opportunity to manage projects from start to end. And on site, the situations are becoming very rife for us as professional teams and contractors, because there is normally processes that we take to be able to inform communities about how we intend to implement projects in the various wards and where we find ourselves. But along the projects, we usually find that there are groupings that are coming to site to disrupt the site, especially stopping works on site to claim for things that were not initially agreed on the onset of the project, and making nuisances on site to stop the site from operating and completing projects on time, therefore delaying the expenditure of taxpayers' money, therefore delaying the implementation of projects for the community at large. So it's becoming quite intense and unsafe for professional teams and contractors.
Yeah. And have you had any personal experience where there was violence, perhaps in these stoppages?
Yes. We do have certain sites, especially in the outlying areas, I must add, in the deep rural areas and also in townships. It's becoming prevalent, where we were having a site meeting and a group of armed men came and into the facility. You are aware that mostly our sites are not manned by armed security forces, but general security who are unarmed. So they disabled them, came onto site, stopped the site, held us hostage, and demanding certain financial remunerations before they could release us. So it goes that deep, and they demand to see the clients, they demand to see all sorts of people in terms of the political arena. They want to see MECs, they want to see premiers, and so forth and so forth. So we have experienced such issues physically on site.
Yeah. Anthony, speak to us about some of the interventions that are required from the state.
We believe there needs to be a structured approach in solving this problem, because it's no longer an issue of the professional team and the contractor on site. But I think there needs to be some pieces of legislature that needs to be put into place to augment the situation. Number one, physically between clients and ourselves, be it government clients or private sector clients, we are starting to look at issues of whether we do provide budgeting for armed security on site that will man the site 24/7. In such cases that if there are any issues, there could be retaliation from the securities on sites that are armed as well. Secondly, we are also looking at the scenario where government deploys the military. Right, we know there's different types of military that government has. There are those who are standing by, and they can be deployed on different construction sites, who are also armed to guard the site so that work can commence and progress and complete. Those are some of the things we are thinking as professionals, not as government, just to make that clear line of thinking. And also to be able to then have conversation with government to say, beyond the inclusion of benefiting communities through what we call the 30% SMME spend that contractors are supposed to spend with the small, micro, medium enterprises and also general labor in the communities that we work. If there's a solution that could be attached to the same beneficiation to say, we creating equal value, equal opportunity for people in the communities as well, why then do we find groupings who want to further then make scenarios on our sites very difficult for us to complete the same projects that we are building for the community to use? For example, we build very basic infrastructure, for example, clinics, we build schools, we build amenities that are supposed to help the same community to foster and grow, but then we find the scenarios where we are being pushed backwards by these various groupings who call themselves construction mafias or business forums and so forth. Government should come together with professionals and contractors so that we can sit around the table and really find long-lasting situations that will eradicate this issue as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay, we understand, Anthony, that we have that clip ready. This is from one of the listeners on SAFM, and this is the experience that he relayed when we spoke to him last week.
They've been told they're entitled for that 30%.
Have you ever transferred any money to a construction mafia?
Boss, I can't say these things on air. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's been hectic, it's been bad, whereby when you come to your house, you find a car at the gate waiting for you. They are telling you, you must do this now. Otherwise, they will be showing the pictures of your children. You go to somewhere, to the police station, and open the case. The case will be 2 days, 3 days, it's gone.
Sure.
Because there are people in the municipalities who are giving these guys, mafias, projects for protection. And then when the contractor comes from Mpumalanga to Zulu-Natal, they'll be telling you, no, this guy is not from here, he cannot work here. But we've got people in USA, we've got people in Europe. Why all these people, they don't come back into our country, then our local person from South Africa cannot work into other provinces?
Yeah. Well, Anthony, as you heard there, can you relate to that experience? Also considering that last year, the president announced that a special unit will be set up within SABC to deal with the construction mafia. And there, that listener told us about not only do you find these construction mafias on site, but also at their own homes. At their homes, you arrive at your home and you find a car waiting for you. You're being shown pictures of your children. You're being told to deposit the money right now. You open a case with the police and then the case disappears.
Yes, definitely. There's such cases that we can relate to, not through myself personally, but I know of contractors and other consultants that have gone through such scenarios. As I said earlier on, situations where these issues are happening live on site, we have called the SAPS. They come and they stand at the gate of the site and they basically said that it's not in their jurisdiction and it's not in their power to resolve such matters. So we've had such. I also know that there are people who have been threatened personally to be killed or to have their families harmed to that nature. So it's really becoming rife and very, very scary for us as consultants and contractors to be able to get out there and deliver projects. We're finding ourselves to use online interventions now to have meetings and to be able to become very secretive about when we actually do site inspections, so that we protect ourselves because we are very vulnerable on the sites that have no armed security on site. Yeah. People have lost their lives, sites have been burned down, sites have been vandalized. The situation is very dire and we can no longer sit and watch it unfold because lives will be lost at the end of the day.
And from, I don't know, any preliminary investigations perhaps that you guys have done, any intelligence at your disposal, do you know whether any government officials, politicians, or people deployed as public servants are involved in the construction mafia?
Well, I don't have any tangible proof with regards to involvement of government officials in terms of political representatives who are giving information to the construction mafia. But we are living in a world where the economic factors are becoming rife, and I think there is issues of beneficiation that are being looked at from various groupings, whether be it in government or whether be it on the community side of things, where there is collusion of certain parameters that allow these activities to take place. So there is underground understanding of that, but from an investigating and audit point of view, we haven't personally done anything to prove such, but word on the street definitely says that these things are happening behind the scenes. I can confirm that.
And hopefully you'll be able to deal with some of those concerns later on this evening when you speak to the minister. Thank you so much for your time. That is the president of the Association of Construction Managers, Anthony Afordofe. And according to the police, they say that there have been continued efforts to clamp down on extortion and economic and construction sites. A total of 772 suspects have been arrested by SABC since 2019. 52 accused have already been found guilty and collectively sentenced to 89 years and 7 months imprisonment. However, though, it continues unabated.